the PT1 is the IRR, which is the Individual Research Report.
So it's basically where you take your group topic that everyone has and you kind of subcategorize into your own lens. So when we did our IRRs,
I did historical.
I had political.
I had social.
Yeah. So basically what you're doing is you're taking your first topic and then you're going smaller and more in depth into a different aspect of it. So this is usually about 6 to 8 pages, and it's really not that hard once you get going, but you have to make sure you have good research for it.
And hit 1,200 words.
And each IRR should have multiple perspectives inside of it.
Yeah.
Like multiple stakeholders.
Yeah, so a perspective, say you're doing from the political lens, so you'll have a perspective could be a Democrat and another perspective could be a Republican. Both will have their different beliefs on it, but it will still succumb to the same type of research. So the second part of the PT1 is the TMP, which is your team multimedia presentation.
So you get together as a group and you work on the key points of each argument and include them into one big presentation that overarches your entire argument, what you're trying to prove throughout those different lenses.
Yeah, and your group is anywhere from 3 to 5 people. We had an awesome group of 5 people and it worked really well because you have, 6 to 8 minutes? Yeah, 6 to 8 minutes to present. So we each had our points that took about 10 minutes if we included everything, but 2 minutes in the summaries.
And after you present your TMP, you get research questions, and they're given ahead of time, so you should probably practice before.
It's very important to sound like you know what you're talking about and be familiar with your own information and your group mates' information.
Yeah, so the oral defense questions, make sure that you go over them with your group because they can ask you questions about the other presentation to make sure that you know what they were talking about and how it related back to your information that you did in your IRR.
One thing that we did as a group was that we met a couple times to make sure that we all had our own information down and that we ran through our presentation to make sure that everything ran smoothly and everyone knew when they were going to talk and what they were going to talk about.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend.
Solutions.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend going to coffee places, going to each other's houses. Make sure you're in a group that you are friends with because it's really helpful to bounce ideas off of each other and just make sure that you have a really good presentation.
And make sure to practice your transitions in between people because it looks a lot nicer if it flows smoothly between person to person.
Yeah. So we had the benefits of diversification in public schools, and we actually ended up being able to present that at the staff meeting. And I think we could credit that to working together and making sure that everyone had good information from their respective IRRs to put into the TMP altogether.
And it's also really important to pick a topic that you're interested in because part of the reason we did so well was because we all were interested and cared about what we were talking about.
Yeah, especially going to South Mech, it helped a lot to understand why we do certain things how we do, and there's actually logistics behind it. Now we're gonna go get an interview from Ms. Peterson talking about our presentation and how much she liked it. So, yeah.
Ms. Peterson was one of our judges for our TMP last year, and we came to ask her what she liked about our project.
It flowed very well. It was obviously well thought out. It was obviously well planned. We obviously did a lot of work and followed the rubric very well. We have to follow the rubric to the letter. So the more that you're comfortable with how the rubric reads and how you have catered to that information, the better off you're going to be.
So that was all for our vlog.
Good luck in AP seminar.
Yeah, good luck. It's not as hard as it may seem. You've got it.